Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mark and Jonathan here. We're here with our way too early playoff projections. So, Mark, if the season ended today, give me your top 10.
All right, so we're going to start at number 10, Auburn Tigers. Like their defense, offense still needs some work. Notre Dame, although they've been impressive, they've had some close victories. I'm not completely convinced to put them in my top four yet. Stanford plays Notre Dame this week. We'll see. This will provide a lot of clarity. But right now, don't love their offense and their consistency there. Penn State, they haven't really played anybody yet, so I don't really know, but I've got them at number 7. I think they do have a lot of talent. LSU Tigers, they're the only team that has 2 top 10 victories this year. Clemson, very talented football team. I like Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. I look for them to continue on in a weak ACC. Oklahoma, love Lincoln Riley and his offensive mind. He's got Kyler Murray, great talent at quarterback. I think they're on all cylinders right now. Ohio State, I really like Dwayne Haskins there at QB. They've got a great duo at running back that I've talked a lot about in our shows. The Georgia Bulldogs, I think they have the best offensive line in college football, so I have them at number 2. And then clear cut number 1 right now in the season, Alabama. Nobody can keep up with them on offense. Their defense is not nearly what it's been in the last few years, but it hasn't had to be. So that's my top 10. What about you, Jonathan?
All right, cool. Yeah, for mine, if it ended today, it's about that resume for me. So we keep that in mind when we're talking about right now. It's only week 4, but if it ended today, what's on that resume? Sitting at 10 is Penn State right now. Their best win is at Pitt. So unfortunately, as good as they look on the field, I can't give them much. Or that's why I put Auburn at 9 because they probably have the second best win of any team in the country right now. Washington's a great team. They beat them on a neutral site week 1, but that loss has got to matter too. Moving on, Georgia. They played a lot of teams that could potentially be really good teams, but there's a lot of questions about them as well. So I've got them at 8. Notre Dame sitting there. They've played some good teams as well. Not anyone great yet, so we'll find out this weekend, especially they'll get an opportunity. And then I got Oklahoma as well. I feel like they're just sitting the farthest down of the top 6 just because that Army game has to matter. That was not a very good win for them. Definitely not going to help. And then Clemson, that Texas A&M close game. When Bama thumped Texas A&M this weekend, to me, that's why they dropped out of the top 4 for me. And then when it gets down to it, 4, I think Ohio State, I think it's the second best team in the country. But who have they played yet? They played their best games TCU probably right now. They're going to have opportunity this week against a good Penn State team to add to that. But right now, they're sitting at 4. And number 3 for me is Bama. I would say they're the number 1 on my eye test. But again, their best win was probably that blowout Texas A&M. So where's Texas A&M in my rankings? Barely top 25 right now. They're still a good team, but moving on, Stanford probably has the 3rd best win, I think, of all the top 10 teams. That win against Oregon on the road has to matter to me right now of season today. And then, of course, LSU. Win at Auburn is the biggest win of the year so far. Definitely has to do that. Plus the week 1 against Miami. Got to recognize that as well. So that's my top 10, Mark. So now let's get into our projected J&M bracket. All right. Just so y'all know, 4, 5, and 6 we're tied here. So it's any of these teams can go in there. So at number 1, Mark, we have Alabama. No surprise there. They're obviously, even with just the eye test, they're clearly the best team right now between the two. We have them in our top 3. At 2, we have LSU, the Bayou Tigers. Interesting right there. And then at 3, Ohio State, the Buckeyes. They're in our top 3. We both think very highly of Haskins. It'll be interesting if without Boza, if they're going to be able to stay or not. And then just sitting out at number 6, the Oklahoma Sooners. And we felt there's just nothing really convincing to say they're a top 4 team right now. But the opportunities are still there. And if some of these teams fall in front of them, they're going to move up. Moving at 5, the Stanford Cardinals. We were going back and forth with this one between them and our, of course, number 4, Georgia. We both had some. There's definitely solid reasons for both teams. Georgia just looks the part of a top 4 team right now, and Stanford is they've just got some good wins, and they're gonna have opportunity as well.
Yeah, this
So,
week.
yep, this week. So I think it's interesting to note there's 2 previous national titles here in our first prediction for polls. So with that being said, guys, this is how we see it right now. We know you're gonna have plenty of comments with this, so we want to hear them. So we hope you enjoyed this. Just get an idea of how things look already in the season. So catch you guys later, all right?